Bo-katan's event sets a new precedent for CG, and I'm not entirely sure I quite like where it's going, truth be told. Let's have a quick chat. So, unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you're no doubt aware that the bo-katan event has been planned for quite some time. We've had the marquee characters Paz Vizsla, we've had Keller and Beck, and we've had IG-12 and Grogu, all great individual units, and I doff my proverbial cap to CG for creating those characters and bringing them to the game. I think it's been awesome. But we got to look at this, guys. I mean, I have been pushing to try for the first time to get a latest legendary on release day. Now, I'm not a massive whale. I don't drop thousands of dollars on this game or anything like that, but I finally found myself in a position where I don't really have anything left in my journey guide to farm except for new releases. The only one being the exception there is Afra. Don't have Afra yet. Make fun of me in the comment section down below. I'll probably end up getting her now because this is just unreal, guys. Unreal. The event starts in 3.5 hours and I will be unlocking her live on my Twitch channel when it goes live. But that won't be my account. That will be with my good friend Karth, who I do tribe talks with. So what they've done with this particular event is those characters. The requirements for this bow event are obviously BAM at Relic 7, then you've got those 3 brand new marquees all at Relic 7 as well. Out of those characters, only one of them has hit a hard node farm, and that is Paz Vizsla. We've had Keller and Beck only just yesterday go to shipments, so he has a chance of appearing 4 crystals in the shipments, and that is a cost of 80 crystals per shard. And I believe IG-12 and Grogu has been live in shipments for just over a week. Now, the issue with this is they have never done a temporary legendary event, and this is confirmed to be a 3-day only event, so it'll be live until, what, Sunday or something like that, where the characters aren't actually farmable. There is no way to actually get Keller and Beck right now without a significant level of investment in monetary terms, okay? So the only place he's going to appear is a percentage chance of appearing in the standard shipments, which you can see he's not in my shipments right now, either by paying real world money to buy character shards, or by using essentially the gambling packs over here, which you're most likely going to get 7 shards of. So when you're going through, let's just have a look at this here. When you're going through and you're unlocking a character, you get 50 shards essentially. We know that 330 shards is 7 stars, so you get 50 shards in the marquee event. That's 280 shards that you'll need to get. He is in shipments, and the weekly shipments will be updated tomorrow with his shards, where you can purchase 85 of Keller and Beck's shards, so 85 of them, and that still leaves 200 or 195 shards of Keller and Beck to get. The event is only lasting 3 days, so we won't get another weekly shipment's worth of Keller and Beck shards. The only other way to get him is through those whaling packs. Now, typically, you'll only get 7 shards. So if we say that every single drop is 7 shards, we'll divide that by 7. That is 27 pulls, or 28 pulls of this pack. So 28 times 1299 crystals. We're looking at 36,000 crystals to get Keller and Beck. I'm really confused by CG's stance on this. Now, far be it from me to say I deserve everything, CG. I'm an endgame player. I should get everything for free. I'm not taking that stance. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that usually there's a little bit of method to the madness when it comes to CG. Usually the characters are, if it's a temporary event, looking at things like Grand Inquisitor, for example, usually there is a reasonable means of being able to get ready for the event before it drops. The fact that we haven't even got a weekly shipment and this event is about to go live and you can't actually get shards of Keller and Beck yet outside of really spending a boatload of money, I can't believe that they're doing it. I just don't think they're going to get the engagement that they're expecting to get for this character. That's the part that confuses me. Not that I think it's completely absurd that they're doing this to the player base. I mean, I kind of got my feelings on that as a separate issue, but surely that when they release legendary events, they actually want community engagement and they want to see the number of people that are investing it to be high. When we had Afra last year, there was obviously not a great uptick in player engagement. Not loads and loads of people went to get her unlocked. Starkiller was slightly different. Now, these two events came at the same time of year, came at the same sort of cadence and pacing, except those ones went permanently to the journey guide. So it didn't matter if you weren't didn't immediately have all the marquees available. It was always going to be there straight away. We could just go into the journey guide and engage in the event, so you could still get the character relatively quickly. With bo-katan, it's confirmed in the data mines that she's only around for 3 days, which means after 3 days she's going to disappear and not come back for 3 to 6 months, as that's the usual sort of cadence that we're expecting. So CG are dropping, I believe they've been data mined packs that they are dropping a $50 pack which contains 50 shards of each of the 3 marquee characters, but that doesn't drop until the very last day of the event. And even with that 50 shard pack, Keller Beck is going to be very difficult for players to actually get. You'd still need to have about 22 or 21 purchases of the Wailing pack, that crystal pack, to even stand a chance of unlocking Keller Beck in time, and that would be right at the end. So I don't understand CG's strategy here. What are they actually trying to accomplish with this release? Do they want people to engage in it? Do they want to make it reasonable? I honestly, I can't see more than 1,000 or so unlocks of bo-katan actually making it into the game this first go round. Are they then going to do a quick turnaround and have her come back in like February time, where more people might be able to actually get her? It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. I mean, personally, you saw I had 17,000 crystals saved up. I was going to, if we take a look at my requirements here, I was going to unlock her with the assumption that she was coming sort of mid-January, because that made more sense to me. It sort of lines up with the Datacron coming out. It lines up with people actually being in shipments and being able to be farmed in a reasonable amount of time. But if we have a look, I need 85 shards of Grogu, which is available right now, or will be in a couple of hours, in my weekly store. So I'd be able to get that out. Paz Vizsla, I've just been hard node farming. I need, 17 more shards of him. I was quite comfortable that I'd be able to get that. But Keller Beck is just going to sit there. So now when I think about it, I think, well, I'm going to stop refreshing Paz Vizsla's node because I know I'm not going to make it for the event. I'm not going to buy the shards from the weekly shard shop anymore, because why would I waste my crystals getting this guy to 7-star straight away when I know the event is now not going to come back for most likely at least 3 months? By that time, I could easily just farm up the remaining 85 shards of Grogu the normal way through hard node farming or wherever he happens to go. Because looking at the cost for it, to purchase character shards through shipments, it's 80 crystals a shard, right? So 85 times 80. That's 6,800 crystals that I would be spending getting Grogu to 7-star. But because I know I'm definitely not going to make it in time for the event because it's come at a too accelerated of a pace, CG are now not getting that 6,800. Instead, I'll just wait until he becomes free-to-play farmable, and then the cost works out to be about 25 crystals per shard. So, that's like 4,000 crystals saved. And Keller Beck, again, that's another guy that instead of getting 280 shards at 80 crystals per shard, 22,000, instead it's going to be 280 times about 25, 7,000. So they are essentially losing, that's about 15,000 crystals there and an additional 4,500 there. So they're losing about 20,000 crystals worth of crystals just out of me. They've already gained some of them, obviously, from mine, because I've already invested in Paz Vizsla. I bought with crystals, obviously, the shards to get him to where he is now, apart from the hard node farming that I've been doing. So they're losing crystal income, and 22,000 crystals, that's a vault and a half. That's $150 plus. And of course, I'm not going to now buy the pack, the $50 pack that gives me 50 shards of each character, because what's the point? I'm not going to be ready anyway. So technically, if they'd made this just a little bit easier, they would have had more engagement from me personally. Not that, I'm the only person that CG should be considering, but it just confuses me. It really confuses me. I'm not sure where they were going. I'm just hoping that going forward, this isn't the precedent that CG wants to establish when it comes to brand new events. That unless you are going to spend real world money, Even if you were prepared to do shipment farming with crystals, unless you spend real world money, you are not going to be getting a new release, which is, it's okay if that's the stance they want to take. I guess I just know going forward not to invest. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is reasonable, or do you think that this is a bit of an undercut move? And it's such a shame. One last thing that I will say, it is such a shame, because I do feel like this year, CG has done very well, especially with all the additive drops that we had. For the Galactic Legend Layer event, for example, where we had additive drops for, we had it for Nisa and Captain Rex, and we had it for all sorts of characters, basically. And, you know, all of the Lightspeed bundles that they've been pushing out that have been really generous and well priced for the player base. It just seems so off-brand now, right at the end of the year, to just drop essentially a stink bomb and then disappear. I mean, they've signed off now, I believe, so that there's no longer going to be any people in the office for CG. So we better hope that this event, bo-katan event now, goes live without a hitch and there are no bugs inside the event so that people can actually unlock her. Because could you imagine if nobody could unlock her because there was a glitch and nobody was in the office to fix it? That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. It's just a bit disappointing for me, guys, but I want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section down below. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.